we need to distinguish between immigration and demographic change. I think immigration plays a big role in the United States and in many European countries. Most Americans, most Europeans, or many Europeans are perfectly willing to see the benefits of migration. Many of them recognize that the countries need highly qualified migrants to come to their country for economic reasons and that they bring real benefits. But it is also clear from opinion polls that at this point, for a good number of decades, majorities of the population have wanted to have less rather than more migration, and they feel that moderate and established political parties have ignored that preference, and they're angry not so much at the presence of immigrants as at the sense that they have no control over who comes in and they have no control over borders. And that, I think, is a big part of the appeal of Donald Trump right now in the United States. I mean, he is building his case for re-election on the high inflation during the Biden administration, but also very strongly on the inflow of migrants over the last years. So this, I think, is a real vulnerability for moderate political parties, a real reason why they have lost credibility among ordinary voters. That is a slightly different question from demographic change. It's, of course, related, but I do think it's conceptually distinct in an important way. And there I would say that there's been a more roundabout problem for moderate political parties, and particularly the left in the United States, which is that Democrats had a very demographic view of the electorate. In the years when George W. Bush seemed dominant, they latched onto this hope that white voters predominantly vote for Republicans, non-white voters predominantly vote for Democrats. And as the demographic balance in the country starts to shift, as the number of white voters declines, that will give them these inevitable electoral victories. And so they became very focused on this emerging demographic majority. But that hasn't turned out as expected. It was meant to ensure that Hillary Clinton would win in 2016, and yet Donald Trump won the Electoral College, even if he didn't win the popular vote. It was meant to shift the electorate towards Biden in 2020. But in the event, Biden actually improved his share of the vote among white voters, but Trump significantly improved his share of the vote among non-white voters, particularly, but not only among Latinos. And this false assumption that victory was just going to fall into their lap has, I think, been a real strategic problem for Democrats, because it made them believe that they can dispense with any difficult trade-offs. They had a theory of the electorate where they're saying non-white voters are our base, non-white voters are very progressive. We don't have to moderate on any of our unpopular issues in order to win because these are the views of the future.